What's up, everybody? Welcome to BioS 3 Raw TV. Well, tonight we're talking about something that is really geared towards muscle building, right? Because this is a channel that it is in fitness and it is health, but originally it's bodybuilding. I know a lot of people out there that are hard gainers have a hard time figuring out why they're not building muscle, and they just chalk it up to genetics. Like, it could be genetics, right? There are things like happened to me when I was younger that I realize now, had I changed these things earlier, I would have built muscle a lot faster. And I have to give credit where credit's due. So my wife Erin actually finds these different links, and I'm not really sure where she finds them. I don't know if she's looking for them or they pop up on her feed or whatever the case may be. But she does follow a lot of like science or not news apps and stuff like that. So things that pop up in the news she finds, not necessarily social media, but like stuff on these different like news station apps and stuff. And she'll send it to me like, "Hey, have you seen this?" And it'll be like updated information about this, that, or the other thing that I haven't seen yet for whatever reason. And I'll look at it and I'm like, damn, that's interesting. And I'll start researching it more and more, and I won't just leave it at that app. I'll really start digging into it. And over time, what I do is I find out more and more information. So I think that at this point, she actually just sees things and goes, this would make a good video. So let me, like send him these and we'll see what's up. So today we're going to talk about the fast food and really realistically why you're not making the gains you think you should be. Or one of the reasons why. I have to find the thing right here. When I was younger, I ate a lot of fast food. And there are a lot of people out there that eat a lot of fast food. And let's say you want to be a competitive bodybuilder, Instagram model, whatever the case may be, right? Just, you want to look the part, whatever the case, you're living the lifestyle, whatever. You're like, you know what, man, like I think my training is on point, but I'm not making the gains that I feel like I should be. Like other people are making better gains than me. So let me kind of start out with a story. When I was a teenager, I had this training partner, Donnie Souza. Now, Donnie got way better results than I did from the beginning. Now, Donnie lived on a farm. He had access to really fresh foods. His family cooked certain foods. He didn't really eat fast food. Me, I was a junk food junkie. Like since a teenager, early teenager, if I could get out of the house and go eat, I would. My mom would make fresh food at home. I didn't like the taste of it because it was fresh, wholesome food. I liked the taste of the junk food, so I would go out and buy junk food. Now, between the ages of like 16 to 18, I was having a very hard time building muscle. I was in there training hard. I thought I was recovering. I didn't really understand recovery, but the bottom line was I was watching Donnie just get better results than me doing the same shit. And I would chalk it up to genetics. I'm like, well, genetic this, genetic that. He's just better at genetics. He trains hard. I had all these things that I thought it was. Never once would I think it was the food, right? The clean foods that he was eating, and he really could eat some clean food too. Like he could sit down and eat 4 or 5 chicken breasts, 3 cans of tuna, no problem. Me, I'd be choking down a quarter can of tuna. Like I couldn't get it down. I was like, fuck, this sucks, right? So some of the other supplements that I took were like protein powder and stuff, like the milk proteins and stuff. Anyways, so what eventually wound up happening was I found out that the stuff that I was eating didn't contain the nutrition that I thought it did. And the way that I found out it was I basically was following a diet that someone gave me, and I had to hit these macro numbers. Like back then, we didn't have these apps and stuff. We had a book. It was like a paperback book that had a list of every food pretty much in the fucking world in it. And you'd have to go take your diary and write the shit in and go back to the book and add the numbers up by hand, take your calculator. It was a giant pain in the ass, but to hit those numbers, I could no longer go to these fast food places because the numbers wouldn't be off. So I just had to start eating chicken from like the grocery store, broccoli, white rice, tuna in the can. I had to eat the product, the foods that were considered bro foods. But back then, we didn't have bro in science. We just had bodybuilding. So if you were eating like that, you were a bodybuilder. That's all there was to it. There was no discrepancy of whether or not you're old school, new school, bro, not bro, science. Like there was none of that shit. So as I started eating this food, lo and behold, between 18 and 19, I now go from 153 pounds to 205 in that following year. Not on steroids. I had never taken a steroid until I was 20 years old. So what the fuck happened in that year? Some could say, well, puberty. Listen, my testosterone was high as shit when I was younger. So why at 18 wasn't I doing that? Why at 17 wasn't I doing that? Like, what happened between 18 and 19? Now, my weight program, weight training program, I was always training hard. I always had people around me that were stronger than me, bigger than me. I was training as hard as they possibly could. The food changed. We didn't have Costco. We had Sam's Club, and I think BJ's was the name of the place back then. But you could buy chicken breasts by the, packages of like 20 of them and shit like that. You could buy rice, like a bag of rice looks like a pillowcase. Like you could buy all the food cheaper, like, cans of tuna were like 30 cans for $1 or whatever. Like my mom was happy about that stuff because she was helping me out by buying food, obviously. So now I'm eating those foods and my body's growing. Now I'm 19 and I'm 205. I weigh 205 now. I was the same size at 19 as I am now. What does that tell you? As a natural teenager, I was benching the 110s, the dumbbells, to where it wasn't enough weight. I was working out at Bally's, which is where I worked. I'm like repping them out, talking to somebody, throw them on the ground. I'm like, fuck it. I remember John Coop was his name. I remember him going to his clients. He goes, look at that. Look how fucking big Jerry is. Look how strong he is, right? And they're like, hey, it's pretty big. He goes, he's fucking 19. I remember them saying to the person going, you're 19? Like, do you take steroids? That was the next question. No, it was the food. The food complemented the weight training that I was doing. So fast forward to now, our food supply in the fast food is even worse now. Now, you may not be getting what you think you're getting in those foods. Now, here's the problem. If you're getting 30 grams of protein, you think you're getting in 30 grams of protein from chicken, you might be only getting half of that protein. So at the end of the day, when your macros are added up, even though it says 30 grams of protein in that piece of chicken, you're getting 30 grams of chicken protein, 30 grams of other random protein, that's shit thrown in there that doesn't have the right ratios and amino acids that it takes to build muscle. So your body's fucking scrambling nonstop because you're not feeding it what you think you're feeding it. You're falling short with the quality of food, not necessarily the quantity. Everybody does the macros and the calories, but they're not thinking about what they actually put in their body. So my wife sends me this information. It says, what's in your chicken sandwich? DNA test shows Subway sandwiches contain just 50% chicken. Now, they go through a bunch of other restaurants too, but Subway was the one that they picked out. Now, for me, right, Subway, when they came out, it was like a fucking godsend. It was fast food, but it was healthy. So I'm like, shit, I can go to Subway, get a chicken sub. We call them grinders up in Rhode Island. Get a chicken grinder and have lettuce and tomato on it. I'm good. I hit my macros for the day, right? Not so fast. Now, they talk about they tested the chicken. So this, I'm going to go through this thing right here. So A&W Grilled Chicken Deluxe, we'll go through all of them, right? Averaged 89% chicken DNA. McDonald's Country Chicken Grilled Chicken, 84% DNA. Tim Hortons Chipotle Chicken, 84%. Wendy's Grilled Chicken Sandwich, 82%. Subway, Wendy's Grilled Chicken, 82%. Subway was the big one that had 51% chicken. What was the rest of what was in it? Now, here's the thing. Soy. They filled it with soy, which explains why the chicken doesn't taste like it does when it's at home. The actual texture of it is different, but here's the kicker. If they get rid of half of the chicken in that chicken breast, and they fill it with soy and other things, you now have 50% chicken, right? Soy is much cheaper than chicken. So they increase their profit margins by doing that, but they never tell you. They never say, hey, come get our chicken sandwich, which is 50% chicken, 50% soy. Hey, knock yourself out. They don't say shit like that. They say white meat chicken, fresh white meat chicken, fresh chicken breast sandwich, da-da-da. That's not what's in there, okay? And they also tested for other things, and they found up to 50 ingredients that were not just food additives, things that are not for human consumption, stuff like starches and sugars and all kinds of random shit. But there was an average in all of the fast food places of 16 ingredients that should not be in there that they will not discuss due to proprietary fucking information. McDonald's wouldn't comment. Tim Hortons wouldn't comment. Now, Subway said that they're going to go back and talk to their food supplier about, no, we pride ourselves in having all chicken, all white meat chicken. So they're passing it on to those people. You're trying to tell me that as a company owner, when my products leave manufacturing, right, they haven't just been tested, but there's a certificate of analysis to let me know exactly what the fuck's in there. They made it a GMP facility. I know what's going in these products before it leaves the fucking thing. Manufacturing gets to me and gets to the consumer. But you're trying to tell me these giant companies have no idea that they bought chicken from somewhere else, like where they don't obviously, Wendy's and stuff don't make chicken. They buy the chicken from somewhere else, and they're buying it not knowing what the fuck is in it. What if there's heavy metals in it? What if there's some kind of contamination? What if it's not even fucking chicken? What if it's like you don't even know what the fuck you're getting? So I'm like, I don't buy that for a second. What I do know is by shortening the amount or reducing the amount of chicken in there, the profit margins go up. So now here you have what you think you're getting is a chicken breast. So you walk into fucking, I'm running late, whatever. Or some people do this every day. They get a chicken sub every day at Subway figuring I'm nailing my macros, but they're not. And then they're just slow gainers. I hear the excuses and I'm like, food-wise, what are you doing? And very rarely when somebody's not making gains, they say, look, I get egg whites from the store, from the grocery store. I have those in the morning with my oatmeal. My second meal, maybe I have chicken breast that I made myself with some rice or whatever. Maybe the next meal I have, steak, or I have more chicken, or I have ground turkey, whatever the case may be. The next one I have a fucking shake that is, let's say it's a Primeval Isolate shake. Like dinner, I use Primeval because, of course, I'm partial to Primeval, or MTS Whey because Mark Loebland are in good terms again. But they're not saying shit like that. They're like, oh, well, I try to get my protein in. I try. I hear try. And when I hear that, okay, well, what are you doing? Well, generally, on lunchtime, I go down to the cafe and I'm like, fuck, here we go. What's in the cafe? This company, that company. They put a Panera Bread in. They put a fucking Wendy's in, whatever the case may be. And they're like, I eat this, I eat that. Now, one of the big things as far as fat loss for me was hearing when people say, I get the salad at McDonald's, right? And I go, oh, I cringe. I'm like, oh, fuck. I'm like, okay, did you put the dressing on it? Well, yeah, I can't eat it without the dressing. It tastes gross. Right, so there's more calories and more not fit your macro calorie-wise. Like, it throws it very even in that salad than there is in a fucking Big Mac. You were better off getting the Big Mac for fat loss than that fucking salad. Like, people don't even know. Now, not only are the calories too high from that, oil that you're putting on there with the dressing, but the chicken in the fucking chicken salad doesn't even contain all chicken. And we don't even know what that other chicken that's in there, what quality that chicken is to begin with. They're not talking about that. So when you go to a grocery store, a lot of times you buy the chicken that's on sale. Now, I've done this myself. Personally, I prefer to go with like free range chicken, stuff like that, cage free, all that stuff. You go in there and you buy chicken by the pound, right? Or by the ounce, by the pound, whatever. That's how you buy it. Well, if you look online, you'll find these different videos of the chicken poultry factories where they take the chicken breast, they have like a gun. They shove the gun, it's like a needle on it. They shove it in, they pull the trigger, and it goes, and the whole chicken breast inflates. They're filling it with sodium and water. Now, you're buying it by the pound. You get these big-ass, thick chicken cutlets. You're like, fuck yeah. Throw them on the grill. That motherfucker turns out to be this big. You're like, what the fuck? You're like, what the hell happened to the rest of it? That's why I say always weigh your meats cooked. You can weigh them not cooked, but listen, 99% of the time, they're filling this shit up with stuff out there. So you don't even know what the fuck you're getting. If you weigh it not cooked, by the time that shit shrinks, you don't have the same amount of nutrition. It's not solid chicken. It's water, it's preservative, it's sodium, it's all this other shit. They had that up to 20 times the sodium that should be in a chicken breast was in this fucking food before you even put anything on it. Some motherfuckers put some more salt on that shit. Like, you don't even know what the fuck you're getting. But here's the problem. When you do stuff like this, and people don't even realize this, and I didn't, it took me a long time to understand, because you have to understand how the body works stress-wise, hormone-wise, to understand how the food affects the stress and the hormones, right? And how the stress affects the food and hormones, and how the hormones affect the food and stress. They all work together. So if you're putting something in your body that is technically has all these chemicals and shit in it that you think that are not in there, and it goes in your body now has to flush itself of those toxins. Now, I'm not saying you have to do some kind of detox thing. What I'm saying is your body detoxes itself all the time. It's constantly flushing your system out of toxins. While it's doing that, you think it's concerned about building muscle? It's been invaded by fucking toxins and chemicals that's trying to kill it. So its first line of defense is get rid of those. It doesn't give a fuck about building muscle. So now you're eating these things that are containing all these chemicals and shit that are additives that are not even for human consumption, that these companies won't even get back to the researchers to tell them, well, this is why it's in here. They're like, no comment. Like, they just back the fuck off. They don't want to say shit. But they're like, yeah, but it's in there. Like, yeah, no comment. We have no idea what the fuck's going on. We don't know what you're talking about. Like, every company that's ever been caught doing something, I feel like they have no clue. Muscle Tech got caught adding androstenedione dione to the Nitrotech. Oh, we have no idea. So you're advertising that your whey protein builds muscle 17% faster than every other whey protein on the market. You have an anabolic in there that helps you build muscle. You don't know how it got in there. You have no idea. No. They got caught putting eosinic acid in the hydroxycut. So they were putting eosinic acid, which is an uncoupler like DNP, that helps you get fat loss, but it causes liver failure. So people had liver failure, they tested hydroxycut. We have no idea how eosinic acid got in our fat burner. So this super high potency fat burner chemical that is known to melt butter like fat got in your fat burner, and you have no, that stuff's not manufactured where your fucking supplements are. So it's not cross-contamination. Where the fuck did it come from? Oh, we don't know. Nobody knows fucking a clue, right? They have no clue. It's, Subway. We don't know. Well, we're going to have to contact our distributor. You know what the fuck it is. Matter of fact, your higher-ups probably said, you know what? Can you cut that shit more? We want to make more money. Get the fuck out of here. So now you have a situation where you think you're going into a restaurant doing the right thing, making a better choice. And technically, chicken is always the better choice. But when you look at stuff like the salad and the Big Mac at McDonald's, the salad's not the better choice. The Big Mac is. As far as macros in calories. As far as what's in there chemical-wise, the salad and the Big Mac could be exactly the fucking same. We don't know because nobody's talking. They won't explain what the fuck is in there, why it's in there. We know the meat at McDonald's has been rinsed and washed with the fucking ammonia to try to make it fucking edible. It kills off bacteria and shit to make it edible. Like, what the fuck? Like, you're putting ammonia in the shit, washing it off. There's still ammonia in the fucking beef. Then it's not on the label. Contains ammonia. Be careful, right? What if somebody's allergic to soy, right? And they go to Subway and they eat this fucking sandwich. It doesn't say soy on the fucking label. They don't tell you. There's no sign to say our chicken contains soy for allergy issues. They didn't say that. So I'm like, what the fuck? Like, they're trying to give us the impression that they're trying to give us something healthy and a better choice. But they're also like, yeah, that costs too much money and we're not going to make as much money. So how do we keep that general guise up of giving them something better, but make our money at the same time? We fuck them over. That's how we do it. We cut it down to half, increase our profit margins, load it full of soy. You're good to go. Now, there was a Healthy Choice dinner that I had before. Chicken parm. This is when Healthy Choice first came out. I was like, this thing is pretty fucking good. And I used to eat them all the time. Like, yeah, they're good. On the go, they're fucking pretty good. And I looked at it and I said, how the fuck is there 0 fat in this? And that chunk of chicken has like 10 grams of protein. It's a pretty good sized chunk. It should have like 20, 25. I looked at the back. There was no chicken in the entire fucking meal. It was soy. All of it was soy. But it was on the label. Like, they labeled it correctly. So now after I read it, I go, okay, well, I read it. Now I know what's in it. I like the way it tastes. It's pretty good. If I want to eat it, I got to be aware that it's not what I think it is. Right now, soy itself, now, it is a complete protein. Just like quinoa is a complete protein. It's one of the few vegetable sources that are complete. However, the amino acid profile on it is not necessarily set up to build muscle. Like, one meal every once in a while is not going to affect you. But if you're doing this all the time, you're going to be deficient amino acid. Well, remember, whatever you're using amino acid-wise gets used. The rest of it goes in that amino acid pool. If it's not used because it's lacking other amino acids put together to build muscle, as that amino acid pool gets drained by using it for other systems, you're now deficient in amino acids because you had something you didn't think you did. You thought you were getting complete animal proteins. You're getting these complete plant proteins that don't necessarily work the same. And we also, don't forget, there's plenty of data that shows soy raises estrogen levels in men. I'm not sure about women. I haven't delved into it because I'm not a woman. I was more concerned with what was going to stop me from building muscle. But that's data that's real. Now, it doesn't happen to everybody, but there are people that are sensitive to soy that it does affect them like that. So now think about it like this. Let's say they're eating Subway every day. Like, that's their lunch. They do it every day. They're consuming that product that you don't think. You're like, oh, Jerry, it's not that much. A lot of these people are not consuming a lot of calories. Don't forget, some people have breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and it's not a whole lot of calories. They fill in those other calories with shit food like cookies and stuff. So their protein-wise and what their actual nutrition is, 12% of your nutrition a day, if it's fucked up with soy, it can absolutely affect you. So now we have somebody that their hormones may be changing due to the soy. They're having weird, not illnesses, but weird effects. And the last thing they're thinking about is that chicken sandwich from Subway because it's just chicken. But it's not just chicken. 50 different ingredients in some of these fast food things that the places won't comment on. Now, my whole thing is, look, take health out of it, take fitness out of it, get rid of all that shit. We're talking muscle building, okay? We're talking about building muscle efficiently, fastly, and optimally. That's it. Your body is not going to build muscle if it's constantly fighting off toxins and trying to adjust hormonally to shit you're doing to it that has nothing to build with, has nothing to do with building muscle. There are only so many stresses your body can take. And I had to learn this the hard way because I didn't understand. There's external stresses coming constantly. Work, kids, wife, husband, girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever the case may be, right? Then there's stress that you're putting on it is in form of a stimulus from weightlifting, right? So those are two different stresses. Your body can only handle so much stress. And people don't even understand because they can't see stress, they don't understand it. But your body hormonally reacts to stress. Okay, so that thing that you can't see, you feel like in that pit in your the middle of your fucking abdomen, that's stress. That's that anxiety that comes with the stress that your body's trying to fucking overcome. Now, on top of it, the food that you put in your body now has things that it's not supposed to have. It's trying to detox itself. It's trying to cleanse itself on the top of it. It's lacking the nutrition that it actually needs. Think about it like this. Vitamin-wise, what's in a chicken breast? You throw the soy in there, no longer are those vitamins in there. It changes. So the vitamins change, the macros change, the hormones change, everything changes. And the bitch about it is it's changing to not build muscle. It's the opposite. The reason why you're eating that chicken sandwich is because you want the chicken or protein to build muscle. But now you're eating something that is not like that. Now that's just that. We're not talking about TGI Fridays. We're not talking about, Papa Gino's. You guys might not even have Papa Gino's, but it's a place in New England. We're not talking about McDonald's. We're not talking about, Chili's or any of these other places. We're not talking about those. But remember, the way those chicken breasts taste in the way that you eat them are not like they are at home. Matter of fact, they did studies that show that the less someone has to chew at a restaurant, the more pleasurable experience they have, the more likely they are to come back. So they load these chicken breasts, they inject them with oil, they inject them with sodium, they inject them with water, they inject them with all kinds of things to make a better eating experience. But get this, as you have that 8-ounce piece of chicken, guess what? About 4 ounces of chicken, that other 4 ounces is a bunch of other shit. So you're not even getting the macros in the restaurant you think you are, and it's not due to soy, it's due to the other shit they put in there to have a better experience. And if you, go to the restaurant and say, hey, what's in this stuff? They'll be like, oh, it's a chicken breast. You go on our website or whatever. They may have the macros, they may have the calories, but the things that they put in the chicken or beef or whatever you're eating out there don't have to be on the label because they're not food sources. because they're not food. Like, you could put fucking strychnine in that fucking steak. There's cyanide in apricot kernels. There's cyanide in rice, right? There's no cyanide on the fucking rice's package telling you how much cyanide's in it, but cyanide is naturally occurring in rice. So just be aware, guys. There's so much shit out there that you don't understand. Be aware. Subway, McDonald's, all these fast food places, you want to eat them, fine, but realize, hey, this is like a fucking, this meal doesn't even fucking count. I have to count it as my macros, but fuck, I am deficient protein for today. If you don't think that makes a difference, be where I was, where you're doing everything right and the diet just isn't exactly where it needs to be with those bodybuilding. Let's not call them bro, let's not call them clean, let's call them bodybuilding foods, because they build muscle more effectively, more efficiently, and faster than any of the other ones. I'm never going to call them bro foods again. I'm going to call them the bodybuilding foods because they do help your body build itself better. And there's no arguing that, especially when you see shit like this. So be aware, guys. Do your own research. Thank you again, Aaron, for finding this stuff and helping me delve into it. There's so much shit out there that I'll be delving into in this next year that I think, honestly, you know, my goal is not to just make it to where you guys can gain faster and gain better, but so you guys are healthier. If you're not healthy in the gym, then you're out of the gym. If you're sick because you're not getting the nutrients you think you are, then you're not be able to train. You're not able to train. You're not able to grow. You're not able to keep your gains. Like, all this stuff works hand in hand. So believe me, guys, the bodybuilding foods are the way to go. I myself absolutely have not done that in the past, but once I did, everything changed for me. And I'm hoping this video will help you guys realize that. It will absolutely change everything for some of you. BicepTraining@gmail.com. Leave comments down below. But don't fight. BicepTraining.com is blog. It's to change everything bicep. Sure of the bicep. And we are out.